Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to present to you our topic, Modern Dating is Confusing. In this presentation, we're going to explore the subtle social cues and psychological signals that can help you understand when a woman is flirting with you. We'll cover 25 reliable behavioral signs that apply whether you're dealing with a stranger, a coworker, or someone you've already considered just a friend. Before we dive in, I want to highlight a key principle. The more emotionally fulfilled and self-satisfied a woman is, the harder it is to seduce her. If she's confident, happy, and not lacking anything, she might not be interested in anyone right now. So understanding attraction requires a bit of psychological awareness, ego, curiosity, insecurity, desire, or openness. Keep that in mind as we go through the signs. Now, let's get started. Let's talk about body language, which really is the foundation of attraction. First, pay attention to how her body is facing you. If her face, torso, hips, and especially her feet are turned toward you, that's a good sign she's inviting you into her space. It's her way of saying, "I'm interested." On the other hand, if her body is angled away, she's subconsciously signaling a desire for distance. Next, consider how she moves in relation to you. When a woman moves into your personal space, standing or sitting closer than what's strictly necessary, that's no accident. It shows she's comfortable around you and probably interested. And then there's leaning in. If the environment isn't loud or distracting, and she leans closer when you speak, that's a clear sign of engagement. Conversely, if she leans back or angles away, that can mean the opposite. She might be feeling less interested or trying to create space. All of these cues, how her body faces you, how she moves closer, and how she leans in, are powerful indicators of attraction. They're subtle signals, but when you notice them, you get a clearer picture of her level of interest and connection. Let's talk about the power of eye contact and touch in attraction. When a woman is flirting, she often gives you lingering eye contact. This means she holds eye contact longer than usual, perhaps looking at you repeatedly across the room. You might notice a 2 to 3 second gaze that feels slightly charged. That's a key sign. If her stare feels almost intrusive, it's not just politeness. That's genuine desire shining through. Now, moving on to touch. Touch is a major flirtation tool because it creates a physical connection. Two things to watch for here. First, how often she touches you compared to others. If she touches you more frequently, that's a clear indicator she's interested. Second, the duration of her touch matters too. If her hand lingers on your arm or shoulder, or her fingers pause deliberately, that's not accidental, it's intentional. These subtle cues, extended eye contact and meaningful touches, are powerful signs of attraction and help us understand her level of interest. Now let's look at some vocal and facial signals that can reveal her true feelings. First, she might smile at you for no apparent reason. Remember, a woman doesn't typically smile repeatedly at someone she's indifferent toward. If she sees you and her face lights up, that's a strong sign she's interested. Next, there's the subtle doe-eyed look when she lowers her eyelids slightly. This is often unconscious and very feminine. A gentle lowering of her eyelids signals softness, openness, and attraction, so keep an eye out for that. You might also notice her voice changing. When a woman feels excited, nervous, or attracted, her pitch tends to rise naturally, even if she doesn't realize she's doing it. It's like her way of expressing her feelings through her voice. On the flip side, some women deliberately lower and slow down their voice. A deeper, slower tone can be a conscious flirtation tactic, meant to draw your attention to her femininity. Recognizing these vocal shifts can really help you understand her level of interest and attraction. Now let's look at some subtle gestures of attraction. One common sign is when she gives you a half grin. This shy, one-sided smile is often followed by her looking down, and it's almost always a sign of flirtation. It's like her way of saying, "I'm interested, but I'm a little shy about it." Another key gesture is when she looks down and then back up at you. This is a classic feminine signal. She might look at you, then glance down, smile softly, and then look back up. This pattern essentially acts as an invitation, a nonverbal way of saying, "Come talk to me." You might also notice her blushing, her face, neck, or even chest turning slightly red. That's a physiological response indicating she's emotionally affected by your presence. It's a very genuine sign of attraction. Women also tend to play with their hair or touch themselves when they feel shy, excited, or drawn to a man. Hair twirling, for example, is one of the oldest and most recognizable signs of interest. It's like a subconscious way of drawing attention to themselves. And finally, if she's laughing at everything you say, even the things that aren't jokes, that's often a sign of nervous attraction. Excessive giggling can be a subconscious release of her feelings, showing that she's genuinely interested in you and feeling a bit nervous at the same time. All of these gestures, subtle as they may be, are powerful indicators of her attraction. Recognizing them helps you understand her interest beyond words. Let's talk about verbal probes, or what I like to call testing the waters. These are subtle cues people use to gauge where you stand, especially in terms of relationship status, and to signal their own availability. First, if she casually mentions your girlfriend, what does that tell us? Well, if she assumes you have one, she's basically fishing for information. She's testing the waters to see if you're available or already taken. The key here is to be aware of this and to gently correct her by clarifying that you're single, which can steer the conversation in your favor. On the other hand, if she brings up her own single status without being prompted, that's a clear signal. It indicates she's signaling her availability, making it easier for her to see if there's mutual interest. These verbal cues are subtle, but they tell us a lot about her intentions and comfort level. Recognizing these signals helps us understand where the conversation might be headed and how to respond appropriately, tying back into the overall theme of reading between the lines and understanding relationship signals. When a woman is genuinely interested, her curiosity about you goes far beyond small talk. She'll start asking personal questions because she wants to really get to know you, not just your surface-level details. It's a sign she's engaged and interested in building a deeper connection. You'll also notice her giving compliments, and these can cover a variety of things: your appearance, your achievements, your energy, even your style. When she compliments small details, it shows she's paying close attention and values those little things about you. And then there's the subtle bragging. Women rarely boast directly. Instead, they often underplay their achievements with phrases like, "I'm still figuring out which college to choose," even if they've already graduated top of their class. Or they might say, "I guess people say I'm good at," signaling their value without sounding arrogant. All of these behaviors, curiosity, compliments, and subtle bragging, are ways she's validating herself and at the same time deepening the emotional connection. They're important cues that she's genuinely interested and wants to connect on a more meaningful level. Now, let's talk about escalation through emotional and physical closeness. One key sign is when her face becomes more animated. If you notice her expressions turning more vibrant, playful, or even exaggerated around you, she's likely trying, whether consciously or unconsciously, to draw you in emotionally. It's her way of signaling interest and wanting to connect on a deeper level. Another indicator is when she whispers in your ear, even when there's no real reason to do so. This tiny act of leaning in and whispering shows she craves closeness. She wants to be near you, to share your scent, your breath, your energy. It's a very intimate gesture that's often a step closer to physical affection. And then there's the triangle gaze, when she looks at your eyes, then shifts to your mouth, and then back to your eyes again. This is a major pre-kiss indicator. It's like her subconscious is signaling that she's thinking about kissing you. Paying attention to these subtle cues can really help you understand her level of interest and where things might be headed. Now, let's look at the final, unmistakable signs that someone is truly interested. The first one is when she licks or parts her lips. This is especially common after she's given you a triangle gaze, which is a very intense look. This gesture is one of the strongest nonverbal signals of desire, so if you notice her doing this, it's a clear sign she's attracted. Next, if she keeps seeking you out, whether it's in a bar, at work, or within a friend group, and keeps finding reasons to be near you, that's a strong indication she's drawn to you. She's actively trying to be close, which is a good sign of her interest. And finally, some women, especially those who are confident or a bit older, will make the first move. They won't hesitate to ask for your number, invite you out, or even directly tell you they like you. While this is less common, when it happens, it's unmistakable. It shows she's confident enough to take that step and communicate her interest openly. So these signs, licking lips, seeking you out, and making the first move, are the clearest indicators that she's genuinely interested and ready to take things further. When it comes to reading the patterns rather than just the gestures, that's really the key to understanding her true feelings. Gestures can be tricky. They can sometimes be misinterpreted or misread. But when you observe consistent patterns over time, you get a clearer picture of her interest. Now, if you're both already in the friend zone, the signs of attraction are still there, but they tend to be subtler. They develop more slowly and can be less obvious. She's not going to risk jeopardizing the friendship unless she genuinely senses that you feel the same way. So, her flirting might be more cautious, gentle, hesitant, almost like she's testing the waters, seeing if you're receptive without risking the friendship. This ties into the idea of the psychological language of flirting. Flirting isn't just about random gestures or words. It's a form of nonverbal communication, an entire language that women use. No single sign can confirm her interest, but when you start noticing multiple signs stacking up, her energy, where she directs her attention, her body language, then you can be pretty confident she's interested. And that's the most important point. Pay attention not just to isolated gestures, but to the overall pattern. Women flirt through their energy, through where they focus their attention, through their body language. Words can be misleading or ambiguous, but their nonverbal cues reveal a lot more about their true feelings. So, keep an eye on the bigger picture, and you'll be better equipped to understand her signals.